Hey folks, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Let's talk today about something that everybody wants to talk about these days. Let's talk about AI, shall we? So before I start showing you some interesting stuff, maybe interesting stuff, let's just talk about what's going on. It's just, let's accept it. It's pointless to pretend that something is not happening. It already happened. Every single person who is involved um, in software development of any kind, it's been affected by this, and it will only the effects only increase, and we probably have to understand what's going on, and it's at least accept what's happening, right? So uh, I'm speaking about this in the past because it's already happened. The job shifted already. It's pointless to it's not hypothetical anymore. It's not something that may happen. It's not debatable. It's already happened. The job already shifted from writing code to specifying intent and verifying outcomes, right? So certain things will just go away. I mean, like they're already gone. Like some of the stuff, it's already gone. So let's talk about these, right? Like, so the things that gone or like quickly diminishing, memorizing syntax in APIs, it's just gone. That's just like not happening anymore. We don't have to do this anymore, right? Writing boilerplate code. Yep. That's like, I don't know, why would you do this? It's like, I don't know, it's like investing in oil lamps in 1910s, knowing that, like, even like fully knowing that electricity will be everywhere, right? So then uh, translating well understood requirements into code. I mean, by manually typing that code, that's gone. I mean, like, we're not doing, if anybody's doing this, this is changing. This is not gonna stay like too long. It's just like, it's just happening. Manual debugging of routine issues, that's also like, that's we, I don't know, like, it's largely gone, right? So that being said, there are still things that will remain and grow in value. And I mean, like, I'm not sure, nobody knows for how long, but at least for now, for the next, who knows, like 8 month, 10 month, year, two, like three, it's like forever. Like, things that remain valuable: taste and judgment. So knowing what the right solution looks like, even if you're not typing it character by character, and having the intuition to say, oh, this architecture will collapse under load. That is still uniquely human insight that does require experience, right? So next is problem decomposition. AIs are good at solving well-defined subproblems. We like, that's the point I'm trying to make, right? Like, but knowing when to trust and no, figuring out what the subproblems are is the harder part, right? So next thing is, oh, next thing I want to talk about, like, the trust, right? The verification and skepticism. So we all know that AI can confidently produce plausible looking, nevertheless plausible, good looking, but garbage, right? Knowing when to trust and when to probe it is a critical skill. And well, that's essentially what code review already was, still is, and we just need to get better at code reviewing code. We need to get like better tools, get better techniques, better ways of reviewing code. And I mean, like, we've been doing this, we've been trying to improve code review process for years now, right? And we just have to be get like even better. System level thinking. So understanding how components interact, what the failure modes they are, there are, like how things may fail, what are the second order effects of like small or simple, seemingly simple change might be. That would be still hard to offload. I mean, like, it is hard today. It's probably will remain true, depending of, like, how complex the systems are, but that probably will remain true. Articulating requirements. Articulate requirements precisely. So that will also remain valuable and true. The point is, the better you can specify what you want, the better would be the output, right? That is basically what programming was all the time. I mean, like, we're just taking it at a higher level of abstraction, to the higher level of abstraction. This is like, it's a historical pattern that we had. Like, we moved from assembly to C, to Python, and it's like each time, like, we just move the stack, and it's just like we are now operating. We still will be like, maybe like, we won't be called programmers anymore, right? We may become like system designers or like AI supervisors, whatever, but our job will be like still programming. Still, we still will have to specify, review, course correct, and most importantly, take responsibility for the result. Just like, we're just eliminating the typing code part, right? You can see I'm not typing anything anymore. I'm just like, I'm speaking, and this little thing, I'm not doing it natively through Emacs yet. This is something I need to figure out, like, but this is working already. It's almost perfectly transcribing, even with my broken English. It just does it, right? So, I mean, my typing was never a bottleneck. Having like uh, thoughts in my head that I can articulate properly, that was like that is still remains bottleneck. So now, all said that, I'm just like, I was just thinking, does how would that affect people of Emacs, people of Wim, right? How so like, let's say people who are deeply involved in tweaking their systems, digging up stuff like deep in their Emacs configs, rising their terminals and VMs, would they have any advantage here compared to, like, the majority of other developers? Simply because I think, and this is, I think that's something that is important, and I think that this is that I can say that I experienced myself, like, because people of Emacs, they've already mastered taming the plain text. And we're already doing a lot of text manipulation, and probably will only increase. We are like, I'm like reading, observing, navigating, reviewing like much more than I used to do, right? So the people who are, I think the advantages, like the true advantages, genuine advantages for people who are comfortable with abstraction layers. Comfortable with abstraction layers, right? Someone who has written Lisp to customize their editor, or composed shell pipelines, or build a tiling VM config from nothing, from scratch. Those kind of people, they already think in terms of, I'm going to describe what I want, and system will execute it. That's kind of exact mental model required for working with AI. People like that, they're not afraid of indirection, right? Then they have reading fluency. Not, well, like, yeah, I have reading fluency. Reading fluency. Rising and config tweaking is like 80% of reading. Documentation, source code, other people's code, man pages. So the AI supervised feature is going to be like heavily read oriented. People who already read code faster than even faster than they write would have a real edge, right? So next thing, let's say tool composition, tool composition instincts, right? Tool composition instinct. So Unix philosophy crowd already thinks in terms of composing small pieces, and that maps really well onto decomposing problems for AI. So the typical loop is like, break thing into pieces, specify each one, pipe them together, etc. Right? So like, people who could do this, they have advantage already. Like, and the final and important point I was trying to make all along: plain text, plain text as universal interface. Right. This is kind of huge. Everything I just described, Emacs, Vim, terminal workflows, everything that converges on plain text as the substrate. So AI interaction is fundamentally text-based. And people who are fluent in structured text manipulation, they are already working in the native medium, in like it's their like in their native environment. So that is like, these are the good things. I mean, like this is let's put this diminishing. We'll move this over here, and uh, advantages. So let's move that over here. Okay, so there are all other like things there though, right? Like, so something that we need to talk about. We all know we've talked about this. Like, there are like always discussions about like, what about the tinkering culture, right? Like, we love to tinker, right? And like, this may be, some of that might become like as like a disadvantage, or something that would be detrimental. I can't even spell anymore. Oh my god, disadvantage, right? Disadvantages. So something like uh, perfectionism. Well, perfectionism by itself is not always a bad thing necessarily. About the wrong layer. Let's put it this way: perfectionism about the wrong layer. So what I'm trying to say, like, if like you spending 3 hours on a status bar theme, it could be satisfying. It's like, yeah, I mean, like, I like it, but it's ultimately kind of a form of procrastination, right? And if that habit transferred to AI work, obsessing over like things like prompt formatting, or like, you would be like, oh, I'm gonna go and just like keep editing my Claude MD until it's perfect, or like agents MD, or whatever MD file, or specs MD, right? Like, perfectionism in the wrong layer probably will be detrimental. Identity attachment. That is something. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, we get like, we tend to develop certain identity. Um, I don't know if like somebody asks me or tells me like, I can't. You have to like let go. Like, you cannot use something that I've been using, like Vim, like motions. Like, I use Vim in Emacs because Emacs Vim's better. But if somebody tells me like, you have to let go, just like it's like for whatever reasons, and I might feel like, I might resist this, because if AI is taking away my what I am, right? I am adapted to certain workflows, and if that's changing, I may feel that is like, that is my identity, uh, kind of like. So the point I'm trying to make, you should probably be able to like, to let go easily. Like, the analogy I think I can think of, like, the people who adapted like fastest to use cars, when like, the switch from horses to cars happened. They weren't necessarily the best riders, right? Like, they were just the ones that they were least attached to riding horses. Maybe I'm just saying a bunch of nonsense here, but I don't know. So there's, oh, not that what I want to. Yak shaving. So, how shaving? No, yak shaving. So yak shaving is also like, it's kind of, it doesn't happen a lot, but we talked about it. We talk about it like all the time. Like, there's sometimes there's like certain, like, we can see the signs of like pathology in the thinker community, right? Like solving like meta problems instead of like object level problems, right? Like something like, oh, I need to build a tool to manage my tools, to manage my config. That kind of, that, I mean, like, it was never good, because that instinct will generate like infinite busy work, and now like that busy work is translated to the new world of LLMs and AI, right? So the bottom line is uh, skills transfer, right? uh, Temperament might not. What I mean to say, so the person who writes their VM and like spends hours on improving their Emacs config, just because they genuinely think that it gives them precise control, they doing it because they want like be empowered and have freedom to do things on their term, they will probably thrive. But the person who does it just because they enjoy tinkering as an end in itself, they'll probably struggle because the tinkering surface area will shrink dramatically. So I hope that this all makes sense. Now, all this poetry, philosophy, whatever you call it, let's actually talk about. No, wait, we don't have to talk. Let me show you some stuff, right? Like how I use AI today, how I use LLMs today. So there are multiple packages. GPTL from the get-go was my. It's an amazing package. It's one of the first packages that seen the light, and it's incredibly complex and sophisticated. It has tons of features. You can do lots of interesting things. It's still my daily driver. The thing about GPTL, it came out in the at the time when we had like this like smart chats. It's not necessarily um, not coding assistant, not a coding assistant. It's like it just never been designed to be a coding assistant. There are multiple different packages that help you with coding assistance. I've tried multiple different things. Well, I've started like many start like with Claude Code CLI, right? It's good, but I just like Emacs gives me like precise control over text, and not just over text, but like within like this the world of text. It gives me like so many options, so many things to do that it's just I just couldn't like uh, stay in terminal. Even like running Claude code inside terminal, inside Emacs, it's not the same experience, right? Like you want to have like very precise, like very deliberate control over things. And just Claude code by itself, just never, I've never gotten like, it was like kind of halfway there, right? And I've tried like different packages. Let me look into my AI config, not config, packages. So, boom, boom, boom. The Whisper thing, I installed it, but I haven't used it. I need to like, do some more. GPTL, and like I said, GPTL, I also like added like some couple of packages that come bundled with tools, and these tools are generally good. GPTL agent is the next kind of improved version of GPTL that adds like tools on top of it, right? And then I've tried Agent Shell. It requires these packages. It's really good. It's really good. I use it sometimes, and I've tried Cloud Code. I was not. I had like some quirks with that, like the quirks that I couldn't like ever figure out. Like so, and then I finally tried ECA or ECA, Editor Code Assistant, and this one's real good. I mean, this is my daily driver for coding tasks. Um, but let me show you how, like, how it actually works. So I was actually just yesterday, I had to solve this problem. So these are my like things that I dealt with. Like, yeah, I wanted to use same MCPs and skills in multiple places. So this is all like the stuff that I saved from. This is mostly like, the outcome of what I did. So here's the problem, right? I have four different MCP clients right now. I have ECA, the main MCP clients. I may extend this to use with Agent Shell as well. We'll see. So I have ECA, I have Cloud Code CLI, which I use. I don't use it every day anymore. I don't have to, but they keep adding features, and sometimes the Emacs packages, they can just like keep up with the pace. And just for the cases that sometimes I want to try like things that we have in Cloud Code natively, and but we don't have in Emacs yet. Like sometimes, I mean, like I want my MCP clients available in Cloud Code, MCP clients, MCP servers, right? I want the same MCP servers in GPTL and the Cloud Desktop app, right? So the problem is that they all need their own different format. And MCP tools that I built, like let me show you the MCP tools. So let's go to ECA config. So you can see that here they are sim-linked. My skills are sim-linked. I have only one skill right now. It's review PR. We'll review the review PR skill if time permits. So One of the interests, so this one, like some tools come shipped with the packages, right? Like some, there are like built-in features of ECA, and agent, the GPTL agent comes built in with this like eLisp eval thing. So what I wanted to do is to be able to say to LLM, like, hey, change something in my Emacs, or like change something in this package, like test things, and then like reload things in my active Emacs session, so I don't have to do that, restart Emacs, like, lose the state, and etc., etc. So like I could have written this is pretty like simple. It's how many lines here? It's come on. Ooh, wait, and here, 88 lines. So this is pretty simple. I could have done it in Golang, in Rust, in, I don't know, in Bash, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I'm a Lisper. I prefer Lispy things. This is enclosure. So what it basically does, it just evals eLisp. Like unique thing about it that it doesn't do it like pipe, like it doesn't deal with like standard in and standard out to get the results. It actually like analyzes messages buffer, etc. One thing I meant to add here is to be able to read stack traces when the debug toggle debug things are on, but this is very still experimental. I mean, like it's pretty new, but it works. So I wanted this to work on different in different things in different clients, right? And I have, this one's interesting because I'm using Mac. So there's a thing about Mac that I prefer Linux, because I mean Linux is great. It's amazing. It, it makes sense, but there is a thing in Mac OS that ships with it. It's called Open Scripting Architecture, OSA. And there's also inter-application communication. So these are built into the operating system. And these things, like, they kind of allow apps to talk to one another. And let me show you, like, just because I'm using Mac, I can access all the tabs in my browser. They're right here. Like, I can switch between the tabs, came up, like, I can manipulate my browser directly from my Emacs instance, right? I can do like some other things as well, but so like there are like things that I can, for example, tell LLM to like fetch the content of the current tab in my browser, or say like, here's or like search through things, or well, like list tabs, right? Or say like, what is, I mean, like, I can select a piece of like text in my browser and say like, hey, can you like give me summary on that, or etc., etc. So another thing I do is Slack. Slack is I often need to. That's too small now. I often need to, like, the usual workflow goes like, oh, like here's the Jira ticket. Let's find all the relevant conversations in Slack and find, like, fetch the comment, find like the PRs on GitHub, etc. Like, so the hardest part of this MCP is the credentials part. So turns out, if I have Slack app, the native Slack app installed, and I'm logged in, which I do, I use Slack app, I can grab the credentials from that app running next to Emacs, and that's pretty. I mean, it's kind of hacky, it's tricky, but it works. It just works, and like, I can sometimes I just go and like search for like threads in Slack, and like, and see we can make sense of certain things. Splunk also is another thing that I use. Sometimes I would just go like and say like, hey, this is a Jira ticket, blah blah blah. I'm investigating some bug, and I say like, can we find like some Splunk logs like related to that? And yeah, so I have, like, you can see I have right now 4 different servers, and I just wanted them to work in all different things. And here's where it gets a little bit more complicated, because you can see that these things are not actually here. They are symlinked. These folders are symlinked. These things are, even though like it's just MD, I don't directly write it here. Why? And this config is also generated. This is generated. I'll show you how. The reason behind this, because all my config files, all my dot files, I don't edit them by hand. I don't have like a special like kind of a system to manage them. I don't use things like Chef or Ansible. What I do is pretty simple. I use a single org mode file, and this is basically, this is my entire configuration, aside from Emacs config, which is like, it's just, it's separate repo. This thing, it kind of makes my configuration, my entire computer configuration for the machine kind of immutable, because I don't go like, if I want to edit git config, I don't go like, just to git config and like start editing it. I rather do org babel tangle here, org babel tangle, and boom, like these things appear where they need to appear. And there are differences, like, for example, here you can see, I wonder what is, oh, this is like, this is something I need to, I know what's the problem here. Like, describe face. So if we do a fun log variable name face, so you can see, no, that's not it. It's not inherited. I think this one's inherited. Describe face. Well, again, like, yeah, so you see it's inherited for fixed, from fixed pitch. And, but if you go to fixed pitch, you see it says height 160. What it should be, set, let's see, it should be set face attribute. I forgot how to do this. And just the stuff that set face attribute, we will give it a face, and our face is fixed pitch, and fixed pitch next, I think it takes frame. Yes, Neil, for the default frame, it's the only frame I have right now. And next we will say height, and height instead of 160 we'll say, is it like this? All right, now it works. So like the problem is that you have to give it not in fixed numbers, otherwise it I think I have something causing this, because initially this is like the floating number, but something, when I change, I think when I changed the, I need to find it anyway. So I could have, well, like I could have demonstrated like how to do this with AI, but anyway, let's say I have like for a git config, right? Like I have differences in where the GPG program is. So it says like, hey, for Mac, if this is Mac, and if we eval this, it says like, yeah, true, you're on Mac, then use this part. And if you're on Linux, use that part. And thankfully, I don't have to deal with Windows, so I don't care, and I don't have anything Windows related here. And that's now, like, go to see Eka stuff. So this one's is pretty simple. It's right now it's the same file, agents ND. They go like, and it just creates the file, and it's the same for both Linux and Mac OS. Right, then it's like pretty small. I don't have like anything crazy. I've seen like people like do like some very crazy like basic instructions, like basic um, rules for using LLM. Now, so remember how the let's look at the config again, just to refresh the memory. So we have config JSON. It's a JSON, right? And this JSON blob right now it's fairly small, but I fully expect it to grow larger, right? So what I wanted to do, you see, for Linux, on Linux, I use only one server. I use like this one makes sense. These ones don't make sense for me on Linux because, well, JXA doesn't make sense on Linux. It's like, there's no OSA on Linux. Slack, it makes sense on Linux, but in Splunk, I use them for work, and I tend not to do any work-related stuff on Linux machine. So here's that, right? So I wanted to use them. So the problem is basically to get a map, right, an object, and then conditionally merge certain, like, oh no, like we have like multiple maps, and we want to conditionally merge them. So we have like some common stuff, right? And here's the thing: merging maps in Clojure is just like super easy. Merging JSON, I don't even know, like, how it's like how to do this. And enclosure is just like, it's very natural. And also, like, look how smaller that is. This, like, there's no like additional fluff. There are no no quotes for the keys. There like comments are optional. If I want to have it on single line and have a comma in between, it's like, that's possible. There's they also can I can align things like this, right? And like for readability, I mean, like it's hard to see. Like maybe this one is better example. If I do like this, you see, like it's like a table. I can it's easier for me to understand things. All right, it's far more readable. So um, and then I have three maps, right? So what is it happening? What's happening? So I have like some parts that are um, so these are the parts that are so I have parts that are declarative, right? These are the declarative parts. But now I have to have like some imperative logic to deal with these parts, right? These with there are certain things are declarative, certain things are need to be done imperatively. So and then if I look at the local variables, and local variables is this is a thing that you can that works in any buffer. It doesn't have to be org mode buffer, but so you put like something like this, and I'm basically saying this is like these are my local buffer variables, like they will be activated for this buffer specifically, and it's saying run this piece of elisp, um, namely load this specific file from the local directory, and then run this specific function. And let's explore this file and the function. So here we have um, so this is what it runs, and it says like there's org babel tangle finished hook. So if we explore that, oh, I'm just getting my let me fix the like that. I need some consistency in zoomed in fonts. So like this says, okay, when it's a hook runs at the very end of org babel tangle, right? So once I tangle things, after that I run like some imperative commands. So in when it comes to ECA, I have to grab those pieces of Eden. Eden stands for extensible data notation. It's basically JSON but for closure, right? So I'm saying like, hey, find these files, then, and I have like some boilerplate. It's probably can be simplified, but I mean, I don't care. It just works. This is nothing, not something that I will ever have to like show to someone. I mean, like I'm showing it right now. I'm not something that I would have to push to production, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, so what basically does it just like gets those like pieces and then conditionally merges them and then spits out the JSON in places. It generates the same JSON for Claude app that I have, and uh, yeah, and for Claude CLI, Claude Code CLI, and for ECA. So yeah, let's go back to my notes and see. So okay, we have Eden data in dot file, then post angle hook. So for GPTEL agent, I have to do it differently. This is a little bit more involved, and I don't know if I want to get into the details of this. There's a lot more. You have to do like like some different things here to load them for GPTEL. GPTEL comes bundled with tools, but like having like different tools that are not written in eLisp is more difficult because so basically what it does, it tries to understand each MCP and extract the things that GPTEL requires, and GPTEL requires like a name of the tool, arguments, is it asynchronous, and etc. etc. So anyway, it works. So my typical workflow with ECA, well, like when I'm trying to like solve something, like let's pick up. Do I have like some maybe Jira tickets? Okay, I have like this is here's the thing. So you can see that this is just a piece of text, but my Emacs understands that this is a Jira ticket. And I mean, I probably will show this at some other time. This is the package I've been experimenting with, but it's not officially published anywhere, and it's very experimental. So anyway, let's say I'm not gonna even type things. I'm just gonna speak to it. can you explore this ticket and tell me the current status of it? See if there are any Slack conversations related to that. Try to find related Jira tickets. Give me the full picture. All right. Explore this ticket. We're just gonna move it here, and that's it, right? Like I'm gonna run this. I'm gonna change this to the plan mode. You can see this is a plan mode, so meaning it's not gonna try to like it will just it's not gonna produce any code. It's not gonna try to write anywhere, and I'm just gonna run with that. What's crazy? So like before even running this thing, so like one of the cool features of GPTL and why I still use it. So GPTL, this is, you can see that this is a dedicated buffer for Eka, right? Like things happen here. With GPTL, you can actually say like things. What year Napoleon was born? Right? So I can just grab it and send it, and GPTL will just like boom take that, and it would just like answer in place, right? Like this is crazy. This is I can do it from any buffer. I can just say here, like if I need to, I can actually improve my prompt using GPTL, using a different model, and before even sending this prompt. So anyway, I'm just gonna do it, and it's like you see, it's trying to work. It's gonna probably spin up some sub agents. So it's now asking, okay, like, I'm going to run this command. And it knows that I have actually, this is something, I never built a MCP for this because the instructions are simple. So let's explore that. So in my agents MD, something about Jira, like, yeah, so like to explore Jira tickets, typically look blah, 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 you can use Jira CLI. I have like Jira CLI installed, right? And it just, it just uses it. It's just a tool. I mean, like, I could think of some like potential use cases where the MCP would be nice for that, but I mean, like, it just works. I'm just gonna accept and remember, so it never asks for me in this session again. Okay, for Slack, same thing, and it is just going like, oh, no workspace is found, like, so like logged in, dig deeper, get linked. Well, like, why did like my Slack search did not work? Something, maybe my um login, my tokens expired. It needs to fetch the new tokens. I may have issue with the MCP. It used to work. I promise you. So like maybe like, let's see, Jira is going. Call to earn workspace is found. Like this is, oh, it's trying to do different workspace. This is not like, this workspace doesn't exist. This it's trying to like find a workspace that is the workspace. Oh, which reminds me, let's see, do we have like Splunk host? No, like Slack the default host. This is the, should be using that. It may correct itself. Slack search was unavailable, no workspaces connection. The workspace, uh, let's give it, I will try to see why it didn't do it. Slack, workspace is this. Let's give it a chance to correct itself. So, but it gave me some like related tickets and blah blah blah. Okay, accept, backslash thread, accept and remember. Oh no, it's actually running a different thing. Oh, it's running, oh, I need to check how are my NCPs are. Let's check my MCP details. Slack is here. Slack search is, oh no, it did search. Like it's like on the front, the Slack integration isn't connected. Workspace is found. No, it's still having a problem with that. I promise you, it worked before. Well, it's always something happens when you try to show. Okay, try again with Slack MCP, right? Let's see, I've reloaded the Slack MCP, and no bueno. No workspace is found. It's not using, look at tools, Slack server. I have to fix it. All right, well, let's try to fix it. Let's see what's the issue with Slack MCP, and probably I'll try to give it the path to it, config tools with the Slack MCP, right? Let's see what's going on with it. Okay, still failing or listing, reading, MCP, what's the, oh, it's Reddit. Yeah, Reddit. Okay. I think it's ignoring certain things from my agents MD. Oh no, it's doing things. Well, it wouldn't be able to find Jira stuff if it was ignoring indexdb file. Okay, search only Slack and Slack both filter. Workspace homes still exist. Oh, so yeah, like I said, the most difficult part of that MCP is getting the credentials, and credentials are tricky. I guess there was function scans, read storage failing, the root prevent plan discover. All right, the main fields mount directly. Maybe something changed in Slack API. Probably not. Probably that's just a part problem in general. Okay, let's see. I switched to code mode. Let's do it. Do it. Let's see what it will change. Reading Slack server. Big. Reading file path. All right. Give it. You like so. Discover workspaces. Discover workspaces. So I guess it was not. It was not the credentials that failed. Something else. Let's see if that works now. It's, you see, it's checking. It's running. Loading the server through Bashka. Let me verify. So what's on here? Okay, timed out. Okay, timed out because script main loop reads. Okay, that that is fine. No linting errors. It's trying again. It keeps trying, like, discovered correctly. Okay, the fix is done. Now we have to restart my server. I will go to MCP server here for ECA. I will stop it. Oh no, not this one. I will stop Slack and start. There's no restart button, but we don't need it. All right, I'll close that. Try now. See if we can find anything. Right. So yeah, I mean, like, typically, because it's a different task, and Eka now has like a thing, like a command called fork. You can fork if you like, if you don't want to wait, or you like switching, or you can create like another, okay, like, okay, so now it's giving me the full picture of the ticket, the bug, like PR, Slack conversation. I mean, like, it's a bug. I can probably like try to find like anything in Splunk, and you can see this is working. This is working beautifully, and that's pretty much. Oh, like, actually, let me show you something else that you may use even if you decide not to use um, any of the stuff that I showed so far. So my problem, like you can see, there's a lot of fluff here. Sometimes it's just is distracting, and sometimes I want to declutter some of this stuff, right? Like sometimes I want to grab, like, select something and just fold it. And turns out there's no, like, there are so many packages to fold, but they all work with structure. And I wanted to fold just like arbitrary region. And observe this, you see? Okay, it's just folded. Or I can just like grab this, another region, and fold it, and it folds into this kind of thing that like everything. But here's the thing, the text is just hidden. It's still there. It doesn't, like, if I send requests, it's still like LLM will still be using, like, if I hide something, it's not gonna be like, oh, now it's abbreviated. It's got, I don't have like enough context here, right? It's just hidden. It's visually hidden. So that thing is a package I just wrote. It's I called it Occult. Let's go to the README. So that's the package. It's Occult, from Latin occultus, hidden secret, and so, like, yeah, basically what it does, it's sometimes you want to visualize the clutter, like blah 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 blah, like LLM sessions or logs or documents. Like, I mean, like, it works in any, like, even here, like, you if you want to do this, it's like, why not, right? I mean, it's still the red buffer, the file still exists. It's just visually hidden, right? So, like, there are a bunch of other folding mechanisms, outline mode, org cycle, hide show, but they all like three-sitter stuff, but they all structure aware. They fold headings, blocks, defunds, right? They just can't fold arbitrary selected region. So this is something that you may find useful. So I have a package for that. It's hopefully I just push it to Melpa. Hopefully they allow me to publish it, and yeah, there's that. Okay, I think that is enough for today.